Hey everyone, welcome to the kind of strangely lit media room here at the CenturyLink Center in Omaha, Nebraska, where a few hours ago we watched Indiana's season end here to Wichita State in, I guess, technically the second round of the NCAA tournament, 81-76. And I apologize for posting this so late. I've been helping out with a couple other sites, with Oregon, with Kansas, getting video and content up for them. But here talking about IU, obviously, in a solo edition of Overtime. It was kind of similar to what we've seen from Indiana recently, especially against Maryland, where it seemed Indiana played really well, played aggressively, played hard for. It seemed like they played hard for 40 minutes, and just didn't have enough in the tank to really do it, and couldn't finish it out. We're close. We're within, in the last couple of minutes. Coming out of the final media timeout, IU hit back-to-back threes to cut the lead to just 1 point, with like 3 minutes to go, and they were within two basically the rest of the game until free throws kind of made it a little out of reach. But Indiana was right there, had its chances, and you can look at a lot of the numbers. I mean, what a lot of people are talking about obviously is the foul situation and how physical the game was, and a lot of people were very unhappy with the referees, including, apparently Tom Crean. But Wichita State shot 34 free throws and made 29 of them. So I mean, you have to give credit to the Shockers where credit is due, especially the two guys who IU knew was going to hurt them, Fred VanVleet and Ron Baker. Baker actually was really, really off from the field all game. He was 3 for 13 overall, but he made 9 of his 10 free throws, and a lot of them down the stretch. And he played pretty good defense. He's one of the better players in the country, really. And so when his shot isn't falling, he finds other ways to make an impact in the game, and he did that tonight with 5 rebounds, 5 steals. Like I said, played really good defense, and was able to really make himself valuable in a game where his shot really wasn't falling. But Fred VanVleet was kind of the guy who stole the show for Wichita State, as he's one of the more nationally known names for the Shockers. He got off to a pretty slow start. He was, I think he missed his first 3 or 4 shots. Just wasn't really, offensively, scoring-wise, just wasn't really there. Wasn't really doing a whole lot for Wichita State. And then he really kicked in, and it was almost as if that IU just didn't play defense sometimes. When he would just slash right through the paint. And man, if this video were in 3D, that would have been really cool. But he would just slash through the paint, and it would just look like IU wouldn't even really know what to do with him. And so he got to the rim with ease throughout the game, and was able to kind of draw the defense in, kick some stuff out. But he ends up with 27 points. That's a game high, and ties his career high. 9 for 18 from the floor, and just like Baker, had the same line from the free throw line, 9 for 10. And those two really, I mean, you know what you're going to get. You know that you're going to get 2 veteran, really tough players there, both ends of the court. A full kind of game. And that's exactly, that they lived up to the billing. They both played 37 minutes. They were both basically in the whole game, and carried Wichita State to, I guess, the 3rd round, where they're going to play Kansas in a game that really everyone was talking about before this weekend. Before Wichita State or Kansas had even played their games, everyone was talking about a possible Wichita State-Kansas matchup, and they're going to get it. People around here are very excited. The newspapers have been writing about it for days, and since the bracket came out. So they're going to get that. But shifting to IU, Yogi Ferrell in his finale as a junior had another pretty good game. 24 points, 7 for 15 from the floor. Played 34 minutes. Played his heart out. Really, I mean, you could see it out on the court. I was down on court level, and you could just see his face as he was fighting for loose balls, as he was running up and down the court. I mean, he wanted this so badly, and just didn't really have much of a chance to make a huge impact there late for IU as the game kind of slipped away. Just running down the line a little bit, Troy Williams had his moments, certainly. He had a really, really nice move late in the game to score a basket to get IU within 2 points, but he only scored, or he was, he had a double-double. He was 2 for 10 from the floor, and at times just was taking shots that really didn't even really make any sense. But he ends up with 11 points, 12 rebounds, plays a game high, or a team high 35 minutes. IU needed him out there for mismatches against guys like Kelly Cotton, if I'm saying that right, Evan Wessel, Darius Carter, guys who are big but not true centers and things like that. So they needed Troy out there for matchups and things like that. Kind of looking at the season as a whole, I think this, when I was asked before the season what my prediction would be, I said around 20 wins and a bubble team for the Big Ten or for the NCAA tournament. They ended up with a 20-14 record. Could safely say they were a bubble team. Got in here as a 10 seed. Lost in the first round. Talking to players after the game, it's always hard to figure out if they thought the season was a success after a loss like this. 10 minutes after a loss, how are they going to say something positive? But they seemed kind of upbeat, especially Yogi Ferrell. He thought that a lot of people had given IU not very much of a chance and picked IU, 11th in the conference unofficially, and that IU qualified for the NCAA tournament, got 20 wins. So I think this is a group that believes that they overachieved, that believes that there's a bright future. Depending on what happens during the off season. Two people are going to have to leave, obviously because of IU's oversigned situation, the scholarships, but we'll see what happens there. Guys were asked after the game, Yogi, Troy, James were asked if they were going to try and pursue something else, and none of them, what are they going to say? Like, yeah, I'm going to go to the NBA, but no, they just said, I'm not thinking about that right now. I'm focused on the team. I'm focused on going back and watching film and being with my teammates and things like that. So it's a very uncertain future for Indiana. We're going to get into that, I'm sure, in podcasts and articles down the road. But for now, I've been here for far too long. I'm a little bit loopy from watching all this basketball and writing all this stuff. So I'm going to get out of here, make the drive back to Bloomington tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Throughout the season, I don't know if this might be our last one, but thanks so much for watching and for reading and for keeping up on the boards with us. And we'll talk to you soon, whenever that is. Thanks again.